What's up, Motocross Action? I'm Josh Mosman, and welcome to This Week in MXA, episode number 25, presented to you by O'Neill Racing. This week, we're going to be taking a look at the 2022 models and share what we know so far. It's hard to believe that we're at the halfway point of the 2021 calendar year, but 2022 models are already starting to hit some of the dealer floors, and we got lots of information on what's coming next, as well as a few question marks as well. Starting off, I want to touch on Kawasaki. They just released their photos and information on their new models for 2022. Kawasaki KX450 and the KX250 are exactly the same as last year. The KX250 got a big update last year, and the KX450 got that new clutch, so those two models are going to stay the same heading into 2022, but they did make some updates to their mini bike lineup. I was pretty stoked to see it. It was a new two-stroke, an updated two-stroke coming from Kawasaki. Unfortunately, it wasn't a KX125. That's what we all would have loved, or a KX250 two-stroke. Everybody would have loved that. It was cool to see them putting some more time, energy, and money into their two-strokes as they updated their KX100 mini bike two-stroke into a KX112 Super Mini. So now Super Mini riders, they won't have to spend that extra money to make their 100 a 112. It'll be a little more competitive in that class. It also has new shrouds to make the bike look a little more modern and an updated transmission. The KX85, it got that updated transmission as well as the cool new shrouds. Suzuki also introduced their 2022 models. Their 450, 250 four-strokes are exactly the same for the new year. I don't even think the graphics have changed. They're the same as well. And their RM85 is the same as it's been for years and years. That's the same bike that Davey Millsaps helped develop, the same bike that I rode a long time ago in the mini bike classes. So Suzuki, I'm happy to see that they're back. They've been in kind of a downcline. It was a huge bummer to see them pull out of racing, at least with JGR Suzuki. JGR couldn't get enough money to keep going forward. I did hear some rumors though that Suzuki kind of transferred their money from putting it all into the JGR program for 2021 and kind of spreading it out over their different teams. So the HEP Suzuki 450 team, they have Max Anstey racing the AMA Nationals right now. We all know that he can do well after he placed 5th last year at Loretta's number 2. And Dylan Schwartz, as I mentioned in last week's video, he got 9th overall in the 250 class at Thunder Valley on the Bar X Suzuki. So there's still Suzukis out there, but not like they were before with JGR. The big news coming from the KTM tent is that GasGas has a 350 four-stroke and a 250 two-stroke coming for the 2022 model year. So I'm super stoked about that. I love both of those models. I love the 252 stroke and I love the 354 stroke, and I'm happy to see that GasGas is expanding, offering more models. And so I know we're gonna get a lot of comments on this video. Everybody likes to give GasGas a hard time saying that it's just a red KTM, but they are doing some things to try to make it feel different. It does handle and ride different on the track, so that is pretty cool. It's nice that GasGas, Husqvarna, and KTM do have some differences and some different stuff for us to talk about, honestly. So I love riding the 350 and the 252 stroke, and happy to hear and announce that GasGas is going to be doing that for 2022. Next up, it was announced a long time ago, way early in this year, that the Honda 450s are going to be very close to the same as they were last year. However, they got that 2 major updates that we've already spoken about a few times. The suspension has been updated to have some better settings, and the horrible mapping that the CRF450 had last year has been fixed with the ECU heading into 2022. So stoked to see the updates on the CRF450, and I know it's going to be good. After you fix those 2 things, that bike was a pretty solid bike. So looking forward to that. Also, really looking forward to seeing the 2022 CRF250, as we know that that's going to be coming kind of closer towards the end of the summer is what it sounds like. We haven't got any pictures or any information on that bike yet, but we are expecting it to look a lot like the CRF450 does now, and I'm excited to ride it. Last up on my list is Yamaha. Currently, I don't have any photos or information on the YZ250F or YZ450Fs coming from the Blue Crew. That does give me a little bit of hope though, that maybe there'll be some big changes, especially with the 450 moving into 2022. As we know, Eli Tomac's going to be jumping over to the Star Racing Yamaha team. It will be interesting to see if they put him on the same bike or if they have an all new bike coming out for that. But the fact that they haven't released any information yet gives me some more hope that there'll be some big changes. Next up, I'm excited to say that we just posted our 2021 125 two-stroke shootout video on our website. After being an MXA test rider and editor for a while now, this was the first time that Jody and Daryl really handed me the reins and let me take over a full shootout from start to end. So I was in charge of writing the whole article for the magazine, doing the video, gathering all the test riders' opinions and learning what they thought of each model, and then breaking apart the details for you guys, our readers and our viewers on YouTube and on our website, let you guys know what we think about each bike and kind of give you our opinion on each one as well. So if you're interested in buying a 125 two-stroke, I hope that video gives you lots of information so you can make a better educated decision when you head to the dealer. Or if you just like watching two-stroke videos, make sure to check it out, as we had a lot of fun with Glenn Helen all to ourselves on 5 125 two-strokes. Next up on the list, we got the High Point National coming up this weekend. The riders should be fresh after racing 2 weeks in a row and then having a weekend off before heading to Pennsylvania. I'm personally really excited to see if Eli Tomac and Cooper Webb can kind of turn their series around. Currently, Cooper Webb is 7th in the championship standings already, 38 points behind Ken Roczen. Eli Tomac, he's 10th in the standings and 44 points back, so it's super hard to believe that these guys are buried so far back in the pack already after just 2 rounds, but I'm sure this is going to help Ken Roczen and Ferrandis' confidence moving forward, as they're just separated by 1 point. Also, we have to remind ourselves that in outdoors, each moto pays 25 points to the winner, so the potential points gained and lost at each race is much higher than it is in Supercross. It's actually twice as high as it is in Supercross. So we don't have an official word also on Zach Osborne's status yet, as sadly his back injury from the Supercross season flared up, causing him to drop backwards in the first moto at Thunder Valley and then ultimately not even line up for the second moto at Thunder Valley either. So hopefully we'll have him back to the races this weekend, but we haven't seen any updates from him yet. Last year, with the coronavirus kind of moving around the schedule, dropping it from 12 rounds to 9 rounds, we didn't stop at the High Point National, but the last time the series was at High Point was in 2019, and in the 250 class, Hunter Lawrence was here and he won the first 250 moto, and it was his first moto win in America. He finished 2nd overall that day to Adamson Cirillo. Right now, heading into round 3, Jet Lawrence, the younger brother, has been the quicker of the two, and he has the red plate in the 250 class, but it'll be interesting to see if Hunter Lawrence is a little bit closer to his brother this weekend, as he's got experience racing at this track. As Jet Lawrence, he hasn't raced there yet, so it's going to be exciting. We're looking forward to it. Be sure to check it out this weekend. Next up, I have a pretty funny topic to touch on. I wanted to share it with you guys to see if you were interested in it. MXA's Travis Fant, he's our videographer. He's a great rider. He rides all the time. He rides a KTM 450 and does well on it. He also has a YZ 250 two-stroke that he's had for years and years and built it a million times. But Travis, he's a good rider, but he's a videographer. For me, I was an AMA pro. I raced the Nationals. I raced Supercross. I qualified for a couple main events. So I have a lot more riding experience, a lot more racing experience. He's always asking me, which bike do I need to ride for him to beat me? So he's trying to put me at a disadvantage. I just picked up a TM 112 Super Mini. We had Brian Medeiros ride it last week. I jumped on it for a couple laps after I challenged him to battle on it, and I'm pretty nervous right now. I'm 6 foot tall, 170 pounds. Travis, he's a good rider. He rides a KTM 450, and he's one of the fastest video or media guys I know. So gonna be interesting. Let me know in the comments below if you think that we should do it, if that'd be something funny to watch, and if we'd be interested in seeing a full video of us battling together. Also, I got a pretty funny clip that I want to share with you guys. Josh Fout, he doesn't get a lot of TV time on the MXA YouTube channel or in the magazine, but Josh Fout is one of our test riders. He does a lot of our endurance testing. He races every single weekend, races multiple places each weekend as well. He puts a lot of hours on our bikes for us, and he puts a lot of time on our gear. He did some gear testing the other day, and I thought it was pretty funny.
What happened?
I found the only mud puddle on the truck. I figured I'd wear the white today because it wouldn't get that dirty. All good.
Wow. Is this, are you trying out some new gear, like pre-production designs and stuff like that?
Yeah, you know, they just didn't look good with all white. I wanted to add a little bit of brown, give it some depth.
Nice.
All right, guys, that's all for this week in MXA, episode 25. Thank you for tuning in. As always, check out motocrossactionmag.com for latest news, reviews, bike tests, race results, and more. And leave a comment down below. Let us know if you think that I could beat Travis on a Super Mini, or if you think he would win on a KTM 450. It's going to be interesting. And hopefully we work out a time and a date where we can go and race each other soon.